Now, an overarching theme amid the shambles of the week seems to be, yet again, this government wants to hold no one to account. Indeed, the Prime Minister is at pains to say we don't want a witch hunt. The Deputy Prime Minister, not so sure about that, Winston Peters, is with us. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
So the buck stops where?
It stops with the people who had the protocol in their control at the place where it had to be exercised, and they didn't do their job. That's where the buck stops. And it stops with anyone who knew that they weren't doing their job.
Okay, so that's many people in many hotels all over the country, is that right?
Well, it may not be many. It may just be a few people who've decided that these things are not all that important, and so they can be lax and slack about it. And frankly, it's just not good enough.
Isn't it ultimately Bloomfield's fault, though?
No, look, if you look at any organisation, things go wrong because to err is human, to forgive divine. Things go wrong. Your job, though, is to set in place protocols where people can't make mistakes because it's so simple just to conform and comply with the layout of requirements. That's what's put out in front of these people. And 5 million people were asked to be frontline officials on behalf of the country. 5 million people did that, but some people are letting us down.
Indeed. Isn't there enough evidence, though, that the Ministry of Health is the one letting us down? If you look at the Auditor General's report into PPE and what Bloomfield said, and he said just yesterday on this program, he's got no idea how many people have been let out of hotels not being tested. It's his fault.
Well, again, I'm not going to point the finger in that context because when this crisis broke, and well, we can all remember who were in Cabinet, we looked at the utilities available to us and the rundown of, for example, PPE and face masks, and the lack of provisioning was just damn alarming. We could see an absolute crisis coming here, and so we're on the phone, my colleagues and others, to try and get supplies from around the world. But that's how badly provisioned we were.
Yeah.
Even though we have people who could make the same equipment in this country.
I know, but he's the one standing on the stage telling us right throughout that there's plenty of PPE and there's no distribution problems and everything's under control and you can feel rest assured. It simply wasn't true. Nor was the testing, nor was the contact tracing. And the more we look into this, the more it's him at fault.
No, hang on a second. You cannot rush to judgment like that there. Remember this. If this is the case, and we are compared with other countries in the first world, and other countries' provision in first world health system, so to speak, look at our record against theirs. So it cannot be all bad. Look at the upside of things. Only, in my view, Taiwan has been a better performing community than New Zealand in that context. So he didn't get everything wrong. All I'm saying is, when you've got a rundown health system with 20 district health boards, all duplicating what needs to be required, you've got a pretty much of a mishmash, which some of us have been telling you about, Mr. Hoskins.
No. Don't you go down that track with me. I've been telling you about it for years, that there are too many DHBs. And you've been in government when there have been too many DHBs.
And we've got a review out where there's going to be a whole lot fewer DHBs.
And unfortunately, no one covered that story this week because David Clark was yet again apologising for the cock-up from the Ministry of Health.
Well, again, here comes the screw-up, as you say. Someone who should have done their job on the ground didn't do it.
Ashley.
That's why I'm pleased we're bringing the Army in, and I hope we use them much more widely because they know what protocols and discipline and logistics and requirements to follow orders look like and sound like and will appear like when it is in action.
All right. Two things while I've got you here. We had Mark Brown on from Rarotonga earlier on this morning. I don't understand. They've got no COVID. We've next to got no COVID. They're desperate for tourism. I don't know what's happening with Australia. I don't know why it's so slow. We don't seem to be able to do more than one thing at once. Why can't we get a bubble going with Raro?
We're getting the bubble conversation going with both the realm countries, some other countries in the Pacific, and also Australia. Australia is a federal system, and they can't move unless they move state by state.
Yeah, no, I get that. But while you're waiting for them to do that, why don't you just get on with Rarotonga?
Because there are certain other things that we want assurance from Rarotonga. What about maritime access to Rarotonga? What about the hospital preparation? What about PPEs? If there's a breakout there, where's the equipment? So we need to know all those things.
Right.
And if they haven't got it, we've got to help them have it.
So having said that, they've not reassured you to the extent that you're happy with, is what you're saying. So the ball's in their court.
No. Well, the ball's in their court to the extent that the officials are talking to them as we speak. We are wanting to open up, and as soon as we have got the guarantees that we're not going to be imperiling their population or vice versa,
All right.
then we'll be on our way.
All right. And can I just congratulate you on killing the fee-bait system of Julianne Genter? That was the maddest system I ever saw, and I'm so glad it will never see the light of day.
Well, we did say we were the party of common sense.
Was she angry when you told her?
Look, you can't expect me to make any comment like that. I'm just trying to cooperate in the interest of the country.
Appreciate your time. Have a good weekend. Winston Peters, Deputy Prime Minister.